The country has developed that side of its economy very strongly over the last 10 years. Today, Paraguay is the fourth largest exporter of soy, and it's on its way to be the fifth largest exporter of meat.
Hello and welcome to the Bankers Masterclass on Paraguay in association with Sudameris Bank. My name is Silvia Pavoni, I'm the economics editor of the Banker, and I'm joined by Sebastian Lahaie, the chief executive of Abbeyfield Group. So Seb, thank you for joining me. So first question I want to ask you is, why did you go to Paraguay?
Well, Silvia, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having us. We went to Paraguay 11 years ago because we spotted an opportunity in a country that was little known, surrounded by big giant economies, Argentina and Brazil, and had a huge potential for growth thanks to the demands for commodities. And thankfully, the last 11 years has proved to be a good decision, and we're very happy to be there.
And it has indeed proved pretty successful for Sudameris Bank, which has had good sustained profits throughout the past decades. And also the bet on the country has proved quite right. So we've had big peaks of growth from two-digit growth, especially in 2010, 2013. And what do you think was behind this growth, and what are your projections for the future?
The last 11 years have been tremendous for Paraguay. Lots of changes. Changes in the way the economy has grown. Where does that growth come from? The first 5 years, the growth was built on the growth of credit. Financial institutions, banks primarily, started to adapt to new regulation that was passed between 2003 and 2005. New capital requirements, new provisioning rules. And a growing agricultural sector has realized that it could access more liquidity from banks. That correlated with increased prices in commodities, mainly soy, but also meat. And the country has developed that side of its economy very strongly over the last 10 years. Today, Paraguay is the fourth largest exporter of soy, and it's on its way to be the fifth largest exporter of meat. All these pretty much starting from nothing back in 2003, 2004. So Sudameris Bank has helped towards that financing, helped finance that growth. When we bought the bank 11 years ago, the bank had about $150 million of total assets. Today it's 1.1 billion. And yet our market share only increased 1 percentage point, which shows that the entire sector has grown, not just Sudameris. Today, the country has managed to diversify its economy compared to what it was 11 years ago. There is an industry now, heavy industries, cement, steel, but also there is an industry of, for example, spare parts, auto parts, that have set up shop in Paraguay primarily to service Brazil. But also to start exporting in the rest of South America. Paraguay geographically is at the heart of the southern cone of South America, so it makes it an ideal hub for production and then exporting around. The last 10 years also have seen a lot of changes from a tax perspective. It's a country that has reinforced its views on low taxes, both corporate and personal, to attract investment and allow for foreign companies to implement production centers whereby they can import some of the raw materials free of tax, do a transformation in Paraguay, and re-export to the same country where the raw material came from, also free of tax. And that has proved very interesting for the country, creating between 5,000 and 15,000 jobs over the last 3 years, primarily.
So a really good growth story. As you pointed out, Paraguay is very close to borders with Brazil and Argentina. How has it played for the country to have such big and sometimes problematic neighbors?
A Paraguayan probably would say that it's been problematic for the last 250 years. Today, those problems really should be viewed as opportunities for Paraguay. Argentina hopefully is coming out of this period of problems with the election last week of President Macri. The views on economy is that he should open up the economy, he should stop the dual foreign exchange system, However, the room for maneuver is pretty small, so all those changes are going to take time, and I think Argentina will probably do well in the short, medium term, but it will take its time to implement itself. The implication for Paraguay is that we still have to deal with our neighbors, be Brazil or Argentina, but really what it means is Paraguay has to find new friends, new clients. Historically, it's always been easy for Paraguay to sell to its neighbors because the trucks would come to the field, we would unload the soy grains, and it would go across the border and we would be done with it. Today, it's no longer an option. Not only because there are problems across the border, but because there's more interesting demand coming from other parts of the world, where Paraguay can be a strong provider. At the end of the day, Paraguay predominantly manufactures protein, whether it's from grains, vegetables, or meat. And everybody needs protein, not just your neighbors. But the problems in Argentina and Brazil, in the end, are, like I said, the opportunities for Paraguay to show itself as a stability pole. And interestingly, companies in Argentina, in Bolivia, in Uruguay, in Brazil, more and more are viewing Paraguay as a production hub where they can find that stability that they don't necessarily have over the long term in their own country, while still servicing their own market through the Mercosur agreement.
Very good. Thank you.
My pleasure.